The United States may have pressed pause, but the Caribbean can't afford to stop moving forward. President Donald Trump has announced a 90-day pause on new tariffs, except for China, which now faces a punishing 125% rate. The stock market surged, and the headlines softened. But let's be clear, this pause is not a promise. It is not a reset. It is not stability. And for small, import-reliant nations like Jamaica, Trinidad, and the rest of CARICOM, it is not relief. It's a warning. This temporary truce in Washington might cause some to breathe a little easier. But that breath can't become a sigh of relief. Because the deeper truth is this: the Caribbean cannot build its economic future on the ever-shifting sands of US policy. Today, there's a pause. Tomorrow, there could be penalties. And the day after that, who knows? Let's not be fooled. This 90-day pause is not a gift. It's a signal. A signal that global economic powerhouses will act in their own interests with little regard for the fragile economies that depend on their decisions. The Caribbean has heard this message before, and this time we must respond differently. Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados, speaking as the chair of CARICOM, made that crystal clear. In a bold, unflinching address, she spoke for 20 Caribbean nations, calling out the unfairness of being collateral damage in a trade war we never started. She reminded the world and the United States that friendship must not be one-sided. Respect must not be optional. Her voice wasn't just diplomatic, it was defiant. She didn't just speak to Trump, she spoke to us, to every Caribbean man and woman tired of feeling vulnerable to economic hurricanes beyond our control, to every small business owner worried about the next price hike, to every young person wondering where the next opportunity will come from. So here's the question: will we treat this 90-day pause like a break or a wake-up call? Because this is not the time to pause, just because the US has. We've been handed a window, not to relax, but to reorganize, to realign, to reimagine our future. This is the moment to stop chasing comfort and start building capacity. Because the next storm is always on the horizon, and the next tariff might not come with a warning. The Caribbean must now move decisively to diversify its trade partnerships: Africa, Latin America, Southeast Asia, the BRICS nations. There are markets ready to hear from us, if only we are bold enough to knock. We must invest in ourselves, in our agriculture, our technology, our regional manufacturing. We must feed ourselves more, build more, ship more, so we depend less. Every imported good is a liability. Every locally produced one is a lifeline.
We need to be able to sell our Caribbean goods to a wider, more stable global market. My brothers and sisters, in every global political and economic crisis, there is always an opportunity. If we come together, put any divisions aside, support our small businesses and small producers, we will come out of this stronger. To our hoteliers, our supermarkets, and our people, my message is the same: buy local and buy regional. I repeat, buy local and buy regional. The products are better, fresher, and more competitive in many instances.
And most importantly, we must act as one. A fractured CARICOM has no bargaining power, but a united Caribbean is a force that cannot be ignored. We must harmonize policies, lower trade barriers between ourselves, and buy from each other before we look outward. This fight isn't just for politicians, it's for the people. If you're a Jamaican vendor, farmer, or shop owner, your choices matter. If you're a consumer, your money is your power. Buy Caribbean, sell Caribbean, promote Caribbean. This is how we fight back. This isn't a pause for us, it's a push. A push to act as if the tariffs are still coming. To behave like we've been left out in the cold, because we have been. Time and time again. We cannot afford to rest while others play politics with our survival. This is the moment to double down, not dial back. Let the US pause. Let the markets cheer. But let the Caribbean press forward, with eyes open and heads high. CARICOM represents 20 nations and millions of people, united by trade, history, and resilience. The Caribbean's total import bill in 2023 was over $38 billion, with the majority coming from high tariff zones. Regional intra-CARICOM trade still makes up less than 15% of total trade, a gap we must urgently close. And finally, over 60% of food consumed in the region is imported. That's a vulnerability we can no longer ignore. The pause is not protection, it's a test. And the Caribbean's answer must be bold, united, and unstoppable. Let them pause. We press forward. If you haven't already done so, please like this video and subscribe to our Impacting Jamaica channel today.